Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Show. I'm your host, Wyatt, and this is your host,
Joe.
Yeah.
That rhymed.
Yeah, it did.
Wacky Wonderful Show. I'm your host, Wyatt, and this is your host, Joe. What a crazy little coincidence we found ourselves into.
There it is.
Wyatt, Wacky Wonderful, Joe Show.
There you go.
What a fun phenomenon.
Oh, man.
Well, we're back, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're back. We're glad that you're here watching us, and we're going to continue on the Harry Potter topic, but we're actually going to be wrapping up 4 weeks of Harry Potter before we move to a new topic. And Wyatt, what has your thoughts been these 4 weeks going through Harry Potter? Have you learned anything?
Yeah.
I would say with your stuff,
mm-hmm.
as far as the complexity of the story, I have learned quite a bit.
Oh, good.
I have.
That's good.
Especially editing the clips and everything. I've learned quite a lot from your teachings. I've been a student of yours, if you might.
I've learned a lot about the filmmaking aspects from you,
mm-hmm.
which I think is good, and I've learned a lot about just trying to get my thoughts into cohesive order.
How so?
Of planning out, getting the pictures, getting exactly what I want to say.
Okay.
And just trying to find a way to say it.
Yeah.
So, and trying not to have too many pauses or say or like or things like that too many times.
Which is kind of involuntary a lot of the time.
Yeah, but you gotta find a way to work around it. You gotta get better at the whole thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I've been getting back kind of into my old YouTube ways
mm-hmm.
of trying to give succinct thoughts.
Yeah.
That shorter form content, honestly, I haven't been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
At least on a regular basis, and this has gotten us back into it.
Well, with regular podcasting, you're sitting there and you're talking, and there's
an hour and a half.
There's two other people who are talking while you can get your thoughts in order,
mm-hmm.
and you know what you're going to say, and you know how you're going to add to the conversation, and it feels a little bit more free form.
Yeah.
So you can just sort of say what's on your mind as it comes up.
What we've been doing now, the beginning and end of this is meant to feel like a slightly interactive show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not aware, we take the clips of what we do and we put them up on our studio channel as individual videos.
Yeah.
And it's been an interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll continue to build this muscle as we continue.
We'll get better and better, I think.
I mean, we're already on episode 4.
Right.
We're professionals. How many people get 4 episodes into anything?
Well, I feel like my first episode was crazy, and I feel like my thoughts were everywhere, and
mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to say, and I was just trying to get the information out. Info dump. The first one was an info dump. Second one, I was confident. I went into it and I felt like, yes.
Yeah.
And I had all the information out there. I laid it all out. I said everything I was going to say.
You're passionate about Sirius.
I knew.
Not Sirius, Snape.
Snape, yeah. And I said it and I felt good. Third one, I was back to the beginning. Info dumping. That was the longest one, I think, that you had to actually edit.
Well, if we keep the pattern then, tonight's going to be a breeze.
It should be a breeze. We're going to try to make it a breeze at least.
Yeah, and honestly, we're just talking about Harry Potter.
Right.
We're not changing the world.
No.
But gosh dang it, we're having fun.
Yeah, well, and we're just sort of hoping that you'll watch this and take something away from it, something you didn't know, mm-hmm. something interesting that maybe you can have fun with, or you can talk about with your friends.
Yeah, with your friends.
That's the goal.
So to get you kicked off, what we're doing is Wyatt's going to start us this week. He's
mm-hmm.
going to talk about... actually, we'll save it.
Okay,
you're going to introduce it in a minute. Well, stick around because when I come in after Wyatt, we're going to be playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a fun one. And basically, we're looking at clips from the show, from the films, as we've done in the past. But this week, we're not learning about filmmaking. We are seeing if we can spot the visual effects, the special effects,
mm-hmm.
things like green screens, animation, additives to the frame to make the movie. there's a lot of ways, a lot of tactics, and we're going to be looking at them, and I have a multiple choice that Wyatt's going to be guessing with me, and you're going to guess along with us as we go through.
I think it's going to be fun.
It's going to be
I'm looking forward to it.
Did a lot of prep.
And if you guys, or and us as well, if we've learned anything from our podcasts, games always work out. They never make anybody mad. We all always have a fun time, and
we always have a fun
always
time.
agree all the time.
Always.
That's
no one gets upset at games.
Nobody gets upset.
And with that, let's go ahead and get into Wyatt's section. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome back. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. Today we're just going to sort of relax and go through one of the main topics of Harry Potter and kind of talk about what the whole story is about, what the meaning of Harry Potter is, and just briefly run through some of my thoughts about what I think one of the main topics is that should be addressed and that I don't think is addressed enough. And it's family, what the story is about, and what Harry Potter centers around is family. And so we're just going to talk about that a little bit today. And we're going to go into our first slide. Just, a classic picture, baby Harry and his parents. And, Harry's parents died when he was very little and he didn't get to know them. But they're very important to the story. As he gets older, he learns about his parents. He learns about what they did as kids. He learns about who they interacted with. He learns about how they held themselves and fought back against Voldemort and the forces of evil and things like that. And so it really shapes his decisions moving forward, coming into adulthood. Even in the latter movies and latter books, he gains new information, new knowledge about his parents that really shapes who he's going to be in the future. And that's super important for his motivations later on. But after his parents, he ended up with the Dursleys. And the Dursleys, if you don't know, Mrs. Dursley is his mother's sister. And he had to go with them. They don't say this in the movies, but he had to go with her because she's a blood relative, and there was a special protection for Harry where nobody could hurt him or touch him as long as he was with a blood relative. But they made it really difficult for him. They made it really tough on young Harry growing up, which I'd say was probably more good for his character than it was bad. It really taught him how to treat other people, because he was treated badly and he didn't want to be that. He didn't want to be the way they were towards other people, and he didn't want to be anything like them. And so his actions towards others reflect how he would have wanted to be treated. And I think that's really great for especially somebody so important in this community. Even Dumbledore knew that not only was he going to get protection from living here, but he also wasn't going to have the burden of growing up being famous, being the most famous person in the wizard world, and having all of that on his head. It could have given him just a really inflated ego, and so it really helped him moving forward. But as he got older and as he got into school, he quickly made friends, and that's where Ron and Hermione come in. They sort of become the people that accept him for who he is, and they become the people that he can be his true self around. He could never be himself around the Dursleys, but with Ron and Hermione, he can be. He was strange with the Dursleys, but with them, he's not strange. He's famous, but he's not anything scary or different. And his personality can shine and who he is can shine. And as he gets older, the friendships, it becomes really strong, and they become sort of his school family, the people he looks forward to most when he's, when he's away, when he's back home. But as time goes on, more people come into his life that become family, and that, especially Dumbledore becomes a big sort of father figure in Harry's life, guiding him, teaching him, steering him in the way that he should go, so that he can become a more well-rounded person. Hagrid from the beginning is there for Harry. Hagrid's the one who goes and retrieves Harry. He's the one who retrieved Harry when he was a baby. He's such a big part of Harry's life, and even though he's not like the most stable person, in that he likes to mess around and raise dangerous animals and creatures, he really cares for Harry and puts his life on the line to protect him. But then also you have characters like Sirius Black, who is his godfather, and while Sirius isn't sort of there altogether, he's kind of a wild card. He also truly cares about Harry, gives him some really good advice, teaches him in a lot of ways how to be a better person, but also how to not be like he was. And in the books especially, they talk about the way Sirius treated his house elf creature, and that was the reason that there was a lot of sort of issues, because the house elf betrayed Sirius to Voldemort. So ultimately, Sirius, Sirius, the lesson that Harry learns from Sirius is that he wasn't a perfect person. He was somebody to look up to, but not always somebody to follow in their exact footsteps. And in the end, Harry has a different approach for the way he treats Creature, and in the books at least it shows that really pays off, and Creature accepts him sort of as a, kind of a pseudo master. But then going even further, Remus Lupin is a good advisor and father figure to Harry as well. Helps him with his magic, helps him with his family's history and who they were and who they became, which is really good for Harry to learn about. And I feel like Lupin's probably a better example for Harry than maybe even Sirius. But then I just want to briefly touch on the Weasleys. Their family sort of adopt Harry as their own son, as their, let's see, how many is it? Was it, Joe, like 7 kids?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harry would be their 6th kid.
No, because there's 2 other ones that are. There's Bill and
8.
Charlie.
So 8.
So he's like their 8th kid, and they accept him into their home, and Mrs. Weasley really defends Harry to the bitter end, and she goes to such lengths in the books, at least, to make sure Harry isn't getting into danger and is protected at all costs, just trying to do the best for him that she possibly can. So as the story kind of winds down, Harry sort of accrued these people, this new family. He's gone away from the old family, even though his parents are still with him throughout all of these times. He's moved away from his relationship with the Dursleys. But even in the later books, we see, in the last book, in fact, we see that Dudley had a connection with Harry after Harry saved his life. So even that, even the way that he treated his cousin, who treated him bad for so many years, reflects really good on Harry's character as he, became an adult. But towards the end, Harry has to make a decision that will be not just in the best interest for himself, but it'll also be in the best interest for all of these people that he knows and everybody that he loves. And Dumbledore makes it clear that, love is the most powerful thing. It's what Voldemort can't understand, and it's why he is less than everybody else, because he doesn't have the power to grasp it. So Harry has to make the decision to sacrifice himself, and he does so after he speaks to sort of the ghosts of the people he's lost, gets their encouragement, and understands that they'll be behind him all the way. And it's sort of beautiful to see that you have represented in those people his past family, the family that he learned were there, like Sirius along the way, and Lupin as well. And so in the end, when he sacrifices himself, he does so for the people who are still alive, for the people who are still his family that he knows are going to continue after the fact. Now, just again, briefly, we're going to touch on how Voldemort is sort of a reflection of Harry's character, in that he has nobody he loves. He has no family. He's alone. And I mean, he goes as far to hunt down who his family were. His mother died. His father abandoned her. And I mean, abandoned more or less. He was under like a love charm or something when they were together. But ultimately, his father went back to his parents, Tom Riddle, Voldemort's grandparents. He hunted them down and basically destroyed all of them, killed all of them. And so he's alone, and he can't understand what it really means to be loved by somebody. He had potential for it, but he never acted on that potential because he never felt like he needed to. And so ultimately, the reason that Voldemort loses is because he doesn't have a capacity to understand that there are some things that people do for more than just themselves. They do things for other people, for the relationships and for the friendships that they make. So, coming to our conclusion, Harry Potter, it's about family. It's about Harry and the families that he's had, but also the family that he has in the future. And ultimately, the reason that he does everything he does is, it leads to him having his own family that he can love and he can be there for, and he can advise and do all the things that he never got from his true parents, that he had to glean along the way from his experiences and from people that he met. And his efforts lead to them being safe. It says in the end of the book that, he feels his scar, and he looks at his son riding away on the train, and his scar hadn't hurt in like 19 years or something. And he was just, and it was because he knew that his family would be safe because he went to such lengths to make sure that they would be. And that's a beautiful thought. It's an undertone of the whole story that people don't think about quite as often. We think about the adventures, we think about the fights, we think about the friendships. But Harry Potter's really a touching story about family and about what it means to love somebody else and to care for somebody else, and what it looks like both when you don't have that and when you do have that. And it's great storytelling. So that's sort of where we're gonna wrap it up. I thank you guys for watching and coming along this journey. This will be my last in the Harry Potter series. If you guys enjoyed the previous videos, make sure to like them. Make sure to like this one, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I thank you guys for watching and being here for this whole thing. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to the wonderful world of Harry Potter. We've learned so much in the world of filmmaking and so much in the world of camera tricks, of composition, of understanding how a frame fits together with the 180-degree rule and motivated lighting. And I think we have earned, personally, I think we have earned a game. I think that we deserve a game. I think that it's time to have a little bit of fun. And so I'm here. I've collected some shots. I've collected behind-the-scene footage. And I've collected from my own thoughts a series of multiple-choice questions. And what we're going to do is we are going to play a game of can you guess what is real, what is special effects in the Harry Potter films. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch to this video real quick. I'm going to start playing it. I got my good buddy here today, Wyatt. Say hello.
I got a camera.
You got a camera. Yep. And so Wyatt is going to be here. He's going to be playing along, and I want you to interact with us. So whether it's in the comments, whether you're shouting it out in the space that you are currently in, or you're just thinking it in your mind, I want you to guess along with us. So this is going to be a very fun game. We're going to watch a clip from the Harry Potter movies. I'm going to give you a multiple choice, and then we are going to see a behind-the-scenes clip, sometimes a picture, to show you what's actually true. So, Wyatt, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go with the first clip. Let's watch it. Okay, so this is the practice, and I chose not to use audio too much, so you might not hear it. So this is where them practicing with the broom. All right. Very interesting special effect. He's flying up. All right. That's a lot of fun. That's always a fun one from the first film. So, my first series of multiple choice questions, Wyatt, is to get that broom with him on it up in the air, did they use wires? Did they use a crane? Was it all green screen, so he was separate from the footage, from like on the set? Or was there nothing? It's magic. What you think?
That last one, I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to X-nay that one.
Okay.
That's not it.
What do you think?
I feel like it's a trick question. Are you saying for the whole scene that we saw?
For how they got the broom up in the air.
Up in the air?
Yeah,
that's wires.
So you think that's wires?
That's wires.
You're going with A, wires? That's a great answer.
I'm gonna say wires. It looks like wires to me.
All right, let's go ahead and go back to the clip. Let's see what we have. We got a little bit of a behind the scenes thing coming up for you. Here it is. All right, he's getting pulled up. What is that behind him?
That's an arm. That's a crane. Isn't it?
Well, look at it when it goes up in the air. So he's shifting around, and then it takes him up. Look at that. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right. So right off the bat,
I should have guessed that.
Yeah. So all right. So you
the
already
way it moved from behind him.
Yeah.
I should have guessed.
Yeah.
Crane, yeah.
So you already can't. You can't take 100% on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not going to win with a 100% score.
All right.
We'll see what the next question holds.
So let's go ahead and watch the next one and see if Wyatt does a little bit better on this one. Let me know in the comments as we go along. Are you getting it correct? Like what do you know? And if you already know the answer to some of these, well, it's cheating, but I'll let it count. All right. Let's watch the next one. Okay, the footage I had to grab off YouTube, so it's a little bit odd. So we have the snake door. And this was always a super cool effect.
The Chamber of Secrets.
The Chamber of Secrets. He's talking in snake language. It's got that cool Dutch angle.
Parcel mouth.
All right. And then we got this cool slithering snake effect. That looks so cool. And then it finishes it up, and the door opens. There you have it. All right, you ready for the multiple choice?
Yeah.
All right, so the multiple choice is everything Harry Potter's looking at is animated. The wall, the door, everything. Next is just the snakes on the door are animated. Next is the entire door is animated. And then finally, nothing is animated. It's all real. It's all practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
This one's tough.
It is tough.
Because I thought this was all practical.
Okay.
The lighting is so well done.
Yeah.
That it looks real.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, everything in the Harry Potter, for the most part, except maybe the Quidditch games in the first couple films, everything looks amazing, regardless of if it's real or not. So what do you think? You got all of it's animated.
I'm going to call nothing. Nothing's animated.
It's all practical effects. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. All right, behind the scenes. Look at that.
The lighting is too real on the snake.
Isn't that wild, though?
The way that the lighting hits the snake, it's too dynamic.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
That's one of the best practical effects I've ever seen.
That's truly amazing.
Yes.
I don't know
the mechanics of
that.
Of it all just slithering around.
And the fact that they built it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of shots on YouTube, especially if you look up Harry Potter snake door, you'll see a lot of different footage. I think they spent a lot of time on that one.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. So you got 1 out of 2.
I got 1 out of 2.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so this is a short one. Just a stairwell. All right? It's very quick, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one has gone around a little bit on social media, so you might already know the answer to this. Okay. But the first question, or the first option, everything is real. So they built the whole stairwell. Only the people are animated, so everything else is real.
That's not it.
Everything is animated. People, the stairwell, everything. Or half is real, half is animated, using a green screen. It's a toughie. It's
tough, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's half real, half fake.
Okay.
Because the people definitely aren't animated. At least I don't think most of them are.
Gotcha.
I mean, what movie is this from?
I don't even remember which one. I just know it's from Harry Potter.
Okay, because going back to some of the earlier movies, they're not going to have cloth sims to make clothes move that way.
Okay.
To be dynamic in any way.
Okay.
I mean, they would, but it wouldn't look super great. You'd have to have people in the far distance. Yeah, I'm sticking.
Half real, half animated.
Yeah.
All right.
Half real, half
real
animated.
Quick, I'm gonna cut this out. Could you pull OBS in front of that window on this computer so we can keep monitoring the recording? It's just behind it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just so we can keep monitoring the recording.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and see what it is. Here it is. All right. So the floor is animated, and check this out. We have a live layer of everything. Even the side doors, though, are all real. Mm-hmm. Only the floor.
But all the people are real.
All the people. They just did different sections. So what they did is they stacked the sections.
Yeah.
So they recorded the stairwell of people on green screen, and then they stacked it together.
Yep.
Isn't that fun?
And then they just painted and made the walls look similar and everything. Yeah. That felt, because the people were too dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see that the way it you could see the way that it went down further and further. It felt
too complex.
It felt too complex unless they had an actual staircase that went all the way down.
Which sometimes they do that. Sometimes. All right, so you got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
2 out of 3. You're on the way. You're on the way. I think we have a total of 6.
Oh no.
So we're halfway there.
I could still lose.
Let me know in the comments where you are, and if you're having fun, give this video a like and subscribe. Really appreciate it.
Also, before we move on, I'd like to let you know.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of VFX artists react by the Corridor crew where they break down VFX shots in various movies.
So you might be well prepared more.
I'm looking for a lot of different stuff.
All right, good.
Whether I'm right or not.
Hey, it's working currently. We're halfway there. You're on top.
All right.
All right, here goes the next one. All right, so this is the end scene. We got Harry Potter running away from Voldemort. All right, right here, this shot. Pay attention to this shot. All right. So basically, there was that one shot that I was pointing out. I know it's real quick. Now, obviously, we have some magic added, but the actual grounding of the film, the actual grounding of the shot itself. Option A, everything is real. Option B, everything but inside the door where everyone's entering is real. Option C, most of it is animated, such as the rocks next to the door, the building they're going into. Most of it's animated, not all of it. And then option number D is the ground is real, but the building, the doorway, everything else is animated. Everything. So just what they're walking on is real. Everything else is green screen. What do you think? What do you think? In the comments.
I'm going to say that everything is real but inside the door.
Everything is real but inside the door.
That's my answer. That's what I'm going.
So just the doorway.
Yeah. Well, everything is real but like what's inside, right? Everything back there.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So inside of Hogwarts that they're running into, the doorway that everyone's entering. Like you're saying everything is real, practical except that.
I want to watch the video again now, but
I can't rewind it. We're operating on Google Slides over here.
Dang it.
If that's the answer you want, go with it, bro.
Yeah, you know what?
Go with it.
I think I'm going to stick with that answer.
All right, let's go ahead and watch the behind the scenes. The rocks are real. The building is real. Everything but the door. What do you know?
There we go.
You almost.
I was backtracked.
Almost backtracked that great answer there.
That was pretty. Yeah.
What did you think? It's hard to tell because Harry Potter does a lot of practical. They do some in between, and they do heavy special effects.
Well,
it's all over the spectrum.
This game kind of, it came about from that time last episode when you were looking through some of the images and, you see Harry and you see Slughorn, you see the giant practical spider, but there's green screen behind them for the landscape. And Hagrid's not there.
Yeah.
So...
They add all kinds of stuff.
And you almost can never tell.
They're sneaky.
They're real sneaky.
All right, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 so far.
3 out of 4 so far. You're on a roll, man.
Yeah. And I'll tell you right now.
Tell me.
Hagrid, for the most part, is not real. But when he is, even his face is animatronic.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of times. Even his face is animatronic. I saw some.
I didn't know that.
So hopefully you don't have.
I don't.
Any? Okay.
I don't have any Hagrid things.
All right.
Let's go ahead and go to the 5th option. So we're nearing the end, but we still got 2 very great ones here coming up. All right. Library. Okay, look at those books. Oh, man. All right. So, for that book effect of those floating books putting themselves away, did they use wires? Were they animated books? Were the books animated entirely? Were there green screen shelves? Or was it green screen people? People in green suits. People in green suits. What do you think, Wyatt?
Let's see.
This is a toughie.
It is tough.
It's a real tough. Now, I will say the behind-the-scenes picture that we will show you, I don't have a clip, but I have a picture. It does kind of give it away. This is a popular photo. If you ever Google image Harry Potter behind the scenes, this is like number one picture.
Yeah,
from this scene.
I don't think I've seen that picture, so.
Okay.
You're hitting me with
with some new
stuff.
All right. What are you going to say, man?
I think
we got wires, animated books, green screen shelves, green screen people.
It's not green screen people.
Okay.
All the people were real.
Okay.
That's, I think, 100% for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say green screen books.
Like the green screen shelves?
No, the books.
Well, we have. Oh, you mean animated books?
Animated books.
Okay.
One of the like she's holding a green book or a blue book,
okay.
And they're putting tracking software onto it and telling it when it leaves her hand to go up.
Gotcha.
I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
All right, let's watch let's look at the picture. Ready? Here we go.
Oh,
all right.
What? Okay.
Now, I'm going to give you half a point. Now, I was thinking, my answers, like one of them is a half truth. So we have green screen people. That was the full truth.
Green screen
but
people.
Animated books, which is what you went with, although you thought the books were green or blue, and they're fake books. They're real books, but you still chose animated books, and the whole effect of them climbing up to put themselves away. When they climb up, they're animated. Right. But when she's handing them off, like if you notice, one of them, like two of these, so you have three hands here. The one in the middle actually just slides into the shelf, and then the other two work their way up.
Now,
so she's handing books to these. She's handing books to people with green gloves on.
I'll say I can see why I was wrong, because if she's holding a stack of blue or green books and they're having to comp those in,
it's a lot of work.
They're not going to match the way that the books look in her arms.
Yeah.
So or when her hand is holding them, and I guess it's much easier to cut out the green hands than it would be.
You don't even have to cut them out. Since they're green, you just select that color. It'll alpha, or it will essentially make a transparent video, and all you have to do is animate what was behind them. Some people, if you hold the camera still, or can do an exact movement, so it usually has to be robotic, or a camera that's perfectly still on a tripod.
Yeah.
Then you can just film it empty.
Right.
So when you take the green away, there is a video behind it that's filling in those little green spots. Does that make sense?
Well, it looked like they were using like a truck shot.
Yeah, they were.
So they were going on a rail and they were panning sideways. So if they did that shot several times and got a base of what the stuff looks like behind the hands, it would just take, I guess, a little bit of touch-up work.
Yeah, but knowing how much they use animation, it would not surprise me, especially even with the books floating up and everything, it would not surprise me if they just went ahead and just animated the negative space where those green gloves were, you know? But she still had to hand those practical props to somebody.
That's insane.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
I love the one that they actually didn't animate, where the middle one, it just shows that she hands it off, and the book just kind of has a nice little bounce, smooth pull right in, and that's because the one that's closest to her, go on the bottom, that's an actual practical effect. There was no animation really there.
Very good.
Yeah, it's fun. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't give me any points for that. I answered wrong.
So no points. Although there was some book animation, he answered wrong.
So I've got what, 3 out of 5?
3 out of 5.
Okay.
I think we have 2 more.
All right.
We actually have 2 more, not one more.
See.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to our final 2. Here they come. So we got Harry, Ron, and Hermione climbing out of the water. Mm-hmm. Just walking, having a conversation. And this is a pretty, this is that they just escaped, I think, on a dragon or a bird or some form of creature. They got a nice sweeping shot. Looks beautiful. Looks like something from New Zealand. So, in this shot, is everything real? Is just the water animated? Is the landscape animated? Or is only the ground they're walking on real? You tell me in the comments. What do you think? Isn't this fun?
This one's tough.
If it's real, it's completely understandable. If it's animated, it's wowing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's.
I don't know how to answer this.
You want to just give a random guess? I'm having a grand old time. This is fun.
Everything is real.
I wish someone would do this for me.
Landscape is animated.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't look at the water when they were coming out of it. I really should have. Only the ground is real.
Only the ground, the patch of ground they're walking around on is real.
I don't think that's. I think the water is real.
Think the water's real?
I think.
Or everything could be real. This could just be somewhere in, the UK or even here in the States or in New Zealand, and it's just rolling hills.
Yeah, you're trying to trick me here. You're trying to trick me.
I'm saying it could easily be any of these.
We're going to say landscape animated.
Landscape is animated.
Yeah.
All right. So just the landscape's animated. Let's take a look. Da-da-da. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so does this count as the water is animated?
I think it does. I think everything but the patch of ground they're walking on is animated. Because the reflection in the water, and the rustling of the water, that's perfectly still. Everything is animated except the ground that they are walking on.
Mm. You know what? When I said that, that's what I had in my mind. That hill was all that was real. But they were coming up out of water. Yeah. Because there's no way the water running past them. I was actually looking at that. Mm-hmm. I was like, there's no way that's 100%.
Well, it was, basically. I mean, everything except the ground they're walking on is real. Is animated. Yeah. The water, the style, the blue, the ripples, everything is animated except the ground they're walking on. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
All right, 3 out of 3, my man. Are you going to pull it out?
We'll see. We'll see.
You got it. I mean, you could either win or you could lose. Because you're competing against yourself.
Right.
It's 50-50 right now.
Competing against people in the comments.
You are. It's 50-50 against, yourself here in this moment.
Here we go.
You ready for this last
Final
one?
countdown. This is the moment of truth.
Final. All right, here we go. Last clip. Pay attention. Voldemort casting a spell. Pay attention to Voldemort. Pay attention to Voldemort. Pay attention to Voldemort. Okay, so obviously we know this is animated. Mm-hmm. This is not real. And... all right. Here we go. Everything is fake but Voldemort. Everything. Green screen room. Mm-hmm. everything is real, but the magic that he's casting. So they're like outside.
Yeah.
Only the magic and the big magic ball is fake, and obviously the close-up of the wand animation. The landscape is animated, but the ground and actors are not. So they're in a green screen room, but they built a practical floor. Everything is real, magic exists. I'm giving this one to you a little bit. I took away one of the answers, obviously, unless you believe in magic, which I practically, I think
do. This one is similar to the last one. I think the landscape is animated, but the ground and actors are real.
Okay.
So that little butte or overhang that they're standing on is real. The actors are real. All that's real. But everything else around them is green screen.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
Let's check it out. Let's watch the clip.
I swear, if it's magic.
If it's magic. All right. As you see, he's casting a spell. The cool thing about this is they even got the flashing of the light and the wind, which is pretty common.
Anytime that they're doing real wind,
it's so fun.
To see it behind the scenes is awesome.
I love when they have a lot of light flicker. I was going to include a clip where, they're going down to the bank vault, and the trolls or whatever, the bank trolls, they're bringing them down on their little cart.
Oh, the goblins?
The goblins, yeah. And they have the light passing for, all of the vaults and the other carts that are passing them. And all they have are these soft boxes with strobing lights that are just going back and on top of them. So they're shooting shadow side, right?
Interesting.
But on top and on the side that the camera's not on, they have just these strobing lights shooting through a soft box like this. But they're strobing lights. So it's a soft light, but it's still a strobe, like a passing strobe. And they're just up on kind of like this elevated thing with green screen all around them.
Yeah. I really like the scene in, I think I've mentioned this before. Which movie is it? The Goblet of Fire, where Harry and Cedric are running through the maze, and you got the wind blowing and the light flashing.
Yeah.
Everything going on. That's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's basically it that I have for you. I hope you had fun. Please comment. I want to see how many you got right. I want to see your interaction. If you enjoyed this video, once again, if you haven't already, give us a like if you enjoyed it. And if you found entertainment out of this video, and you like the process of guessing and seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff, subscribe to the channel. We worked, a good chunk of time on this, and it's fun. It's for us to enjoy, but it's for you to enjoy as well. So if you'd like to repay us back for a little bit of that work, you could give us a subscribe. It's free. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Whew. That was something else.
How about that video, man?
Yeah. I mean, I got most of the answers.
You got most of.
I got most.
You
of
got
the answers.
4 out of 7.
Yeah.
That's majority.
Yeah.
Now
I think I won.
You beat yourself.
I beat myself.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was fun. I like that. That was good.
I thought it was a fun time.
It's good to try to see. The one that threw me the most was the wires.
Yeah.
Or the crane. They had him on a crane. I totally thought
of the broom.
the wires. But it's definitely safer to have a kid, especially on a crane, rather than
somewhat.
on the
but the
wires,
thing is, you could have multiple wires. With a crane, if his harness that's attached to him just is compromised, he'll just fall on his face. There's nothing holding him up.
Right. Well,
just the crane.
I'm sure.
That's attached to a harness under his cloak.
I'm sure they had mats and pads and things that
Did you see it?
I didn't see any, but
I didn't see any either.
They might have been there.
I don't think they were.
It was the first movie. We were still
lower budget.
Yeah, lower budget.
Put kids at risk.
Yeah.
A bunch of kids.
He volunteered for this. He signed the contract.
I'm gonna play Neville. Is his name?
Yeah.
Neville. I'm gonna play Neville. I gotta have some good screen time.
Mm-hmm.
I got the largest teeth in the film.
I don't think that was in the contract.
Either way,
It just there's like a small note at the bottom. Also, there's no like protective mats or anything for you to land on.
You got camera cranes?
Now,
yeah, we do. All right, that's good enough.
One of the scenes that they analyzed in the first movie is where Hermione throws a spell on a Neville. Mm-hmm. She hits him with the Petrificus Totalis, and he just falls back. If you watch the scene, that is a human body landing and thump. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you don't think they used a dummy?
Mm-mm. They used a double.
Oh man!
It was a small woman,
and she's good at falling down.
That did the fall. Yeah.
You know, if you bonk your head, you could die.
Yeah.
If you bonk it,
but I was like, they definitely weren't having the actor who played Neville do that stunt. That was tough.
That's a tough fall.
That rigid fallback. They definitely had some padding under there. I'm positive that they had to.
But they got a nice close up on that shot. Yeah, and it didn't look
that's
like
it. That's a good
one. But good job also on talking a bit about Harry's family. I think it's
family. It's all about family.
I think it's important that you're right. Harry Potter does rely very heavily on just the narrative of family. And who is Harry's family at the moment?
Yeah.
You know, it starts with his parents that get killed. Mm-hmm. And then there are generations of people that knew his parents that he has to interact with. And then you have, you know, the Dursleys. Mm-hmm. And then you have Ron's family.
Yeah, the Weasleys.
And then also his friends.
He's interacting with his friends, his godfather, Luke, all these people who knew his parents.
And he's just bouncing from household to household to community.
Well, it's like, you know, he didn't have the parents to sort of teach him the things he needed to know. Mm-hmm. But he gleans those things from these people that are willing to give, that are willing to teach, which I think is a beautiful thing, you know.
It is beautiful.
And it's one of those things that for young people, especially who are missing parents or missing one of their parents, for them to have people in their life who will take the time to teach them, to take the time to tell them the stories and teach them how to you know, be an adult, be a human, be a person,
have a human experience.
Because obviously Voldemort didn't have that. No. He became a monster.
The moral of the story is, if you don't have people, you become a monster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can have people that, you know, they have to be teaching you the right things.
You have to be open to them.
Yeah.
You can't be like Voldemort, who uses people and abuses people. Mm-hmm. Don't use and abuse. You're a monster.
Hurt people.
Secrets hurt someone.
Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, I think that's a wrap for our Harry Potter series.
That's a wrap.
And I'm glad we did. I think it was really fun.
Absolutely. And we're gonna figure out what we're doing next.
Which will be next week. I'm looking forward to what we're doing next.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be fun. But thank you guys. If you're joining us, I know it's a very small community at this point that have followed us. We're going to keep doing this because it's fun for us, it's good for our content, and it's good for you once people end up finding what we're creating over here. So thank you so much for watching. We love you the same way that Harry loves his friends, Ron and Hermione. And the same way that Voldemort loves himself.
Thanks.
Peace.